Good afternoon. After numerous conversations with Amy, we have decided to part ways with Mike Mularkey as our head coach. I'd like to thank him for all he's done for this team, this community, and wish him the best moving forward. We will begin the search immediately for a new head coach. Our goal remains the same. We are committed to our fans, to bring a championship home to this great city and state. These decisions are never easy, yet Amy and I remain steadfast, and the most important thing is the team. Putting our players in position to maximize their ability in all three phases of the game. I'm very proud of the success we have had over the last 2 seasons and look forward to working with our new head coach and moving us closer to and ultimately winning a championship. We'll begin the search immediately and update you through our PR team, Robbie and his staff, upon completion of each candidate that we interview. With that, I will open it up for questions.
John, the fact that Mike was unwilling to make staff changes, is that one of the factors, the reason that you parted ways?
I think there's a lot of factors that go into decisions that you make that impact the football team. This is obviously a big one. So I would that's certainly something that was discussed.
How did you go from talk about contract extension to him being out this morning?
Like I said, those are conversations that Amy and I had ongoing back and forth. And in the end, we felt best for the team to go a different direction.
Can you detail some of the factors that played into that?
Like I said, there's a lot of factors that go into every decision that are made.
Where did things stand yesterday when he spoke to us?
I would say the decision was made this morning.
Did things he said yesterday impact the decision about his staff?
I would say yes.
What was it about the direction of the team that you were unhappy about making this change?
Listen, I think, like I said, we've done a lot of good things here over the last 2 years. I felt like we needed to go a different direction and maximize the skill sets of the players on the field.
Amy's statement said couldn't find common ground. Is that common ground between you and Mike, between Amy and Mike?
I think in any organization, not to speak for other teams, but it's it's ownership, the head coach and the general manager. They all have to be on the same page.
Mike said yesterday he thought that Marcus had made progress this year. Do you agree with that assessment?
Marcus is a really good football player. I think if you just look at the statistics, it didn't quite say that, but I think Marcus made a lot of really good plays for us this year.
How much better can Marcus get, John?
What qualities are you looking forward to in the next head coach?
Leader of men. Obviously, the things that are stamped out there in those pillars: team first, detailed, tough, dependable, and one that's going to, like I said, maximize the abilities of the players in all three phases of the game.
John, how important is it to get somebody who can maximize Marcus's abilities going into his fourth year?
Well, I think whoever the head coach is, you want to maximize the abilities of all your players. That's what's the beauty of this game is it's a team game. It takes 11 guys. Marcus is certainly an important part of that. The quarterback position is a very important, if not the most important position on the field.
Have you or will you have a conversation with Marcus about what he feels best doing, what he hopes to do, and would that be any level of factor in the direction we go?
I have a great relationship with Marcus, and yeah, I'm sure we'll talk. He's kind of catching his breath right now, and after a long season, and look forward to chatting with him about the team.
What did you think of the job Terry Robisky did this year?
I like Terry. I think Terry's got a great relationship with the players. Again, to me, on that, there's a lot that goes into game planning. There's a lot of voices on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game that go into planning for a game on a weekly basis.
John, you've been in the league a long time. How much past relationships maybe help you in the decision, and how big is the pool that you're looking at for a next head coach?
We've started that search this morning, going through names and bios and starting to build a list of potential candidates. It certainly it helps to have relationships in the league and be able to call on those relationships that might have a connection with a potential candidate, even though I might not have a one-on-one relationship with that person, to someone you can trust that will, kind of shoot you straight on the candidate.
Will you exclusively hire the next head coach?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Will you be the exclusive one to hire the next head coach?
Well, I think Amy Adams-Strunk owns the team, so I think that she's the ultimate say. But I will have a very strong input into who leads our team moving forward.
It would be a 50-50 type of partnership like it was with you and Mike, or will you assume more control of the say-so in personnel and things like that?
Well, I've always had say-so in personnel. I would just say that we haven't talked about any of that yet.
John, what would you say to those who say this all boils down to a power struggle between Mike Mularkey and John Robinson?
I think this boils down to doing what we think is best for the football team moving forward, taking the next step.
What kind of culture that you guys have built here while still moving forward?
I think that locker room is made up of a bunch of really good guys, a bunch of guys that are extremely passionate about football, that believe in our beliefs of what Titan football is going to look like, and remaining steadfast in our approach to building the team.
Was you worried all about the fact that a lot of those guys came out in public support for Mike and belief in him, and now you're changing course on them?
Listen, I've got a great relationship with all the players in the locker room. That's the NFL. Change happens a lot of places throughout the course of time in this league. So I have an open door policy that they can come and talk, and we can talk about things. I think that's important.
How important is it that the next coach exhibit a degree of flexibility in terms of game to game and how to use Marcus and all of those big decisions?
I think that's important in today's league. I think that the NFL game has evolved a little bit, and I think that being able to, like I said earlier in my statement, maximize the ability of players, again, to put the team in the best position to win football games.
This is going to be Marcus's third head coach in 4 pro seasons. Where does that fall on the level of your concern?
Marcus is a pretty resilient guy. He's a very mentally tough guy. He takes a lot from the standpoint of ownership in things. I have zero concern in Marcus being able to adapt and learn and do what's best to get the offense going.
Why do you think the offense took the step back, John, from last year to this year? Why do you think the offense took the step back that it did?
I don't know. I think that's some of the things that we're searching for.
Prior to the decision this morning, did any players come to you with concern of the direction of the offense or the direction that the coaching staff was leading them?
No.
Approximately how many candidates would you like to pull from and maybe interview before you select a new coach?
I think we don't have a set number on how many we would like to talk to. I think we'll talk to as many as it takes to get the right guy to lead this team moving forward.
Are you willing to wait until after the Super Bowl if you're not able to talk to a candidate until after that?
Like I said, I think there's not a set number on candidates, and we want the right guy for the job.
You just start 2 of the playoffs. What does it say about where the bar is set and the success that you're demanding from this next head
I don't think there's literally a set bar. Again, I think it's the path of the team and the direction of the team and utilization of the the players, and I think that's really what we're looking for.
So you're not happy with the direction of the team right now and making the change. What is the issue with the current direction of the team?
I think it's again it boils down to consistency. That's on a week in and week out basis, moving forward, showing progress in all three phases of the game.
Did you feel like this team had reached its ceiling or its plateau with Mike as the head coach?
Again, I think there's a lot of good football players on this team. I think that it was at the end of the day, we felt like we needed to go down a different path to move forward.
How long was the extension you were discussing?
We hadn't talked about that.
How close are you guys to being championship contenders?
I think we've got a really good football team. I think we've got a good roster. We've got a good makeup of players. I think the personalities in that locker room are very good. I think they really love each other and they play hard for each other. I think they're tough and resilient. And I think, not to put a timetable on it, but I think that the pieces are in place for us to move forward.
So the decision was made this morning. How long had this been a possible inevitability? Can you kind of help us with the timeline there a little bit? Because we have the public backing from Amy a week ago. What transpired in this past week to get to this point?
Again, like I said, there's a lot of things that we've talked about, Amy and I, about the direction of the team moving forward. And this morning it was decided that we felt like we needed to go a different direction. That was a personal conversation. I'd like to keep that personal.
Is that just you? Is that you and Amy?
It was myself and Steve Underwood.
John, we live in a different age now. There's been a lot of Titans fans that have come forward on social media, various platforms, saying that they prefer not to have Mike as the head coach. Some people have gone as far as saying, I won't support the team as long as he's still the head coach. Did that play any at all a part in your decision?
Again, like I said, I love our fans. I think that I made that abundantly clear in my opening statement when I was sitting here a little less than 2 years ago about what this team means to me, what this city means to me, and what this state means to me. There's nothing more that I want for our fans than to bring a championship here. And I feel like it's my charge to put the team in the best position to do that.
How do you answer the candidates' concern about the back and forth support and ultimate let go today over the last few weeks?
I think this is a very attractive job for a lot of candidates. I look forward to working with whoever the next head coach is. I think that they will see that myself and Amy will be unified with them in our vision for the football team.
How close are you with Josh McDaniels?
I can't comment on any current coaches that are under contract.
Who do you anticipate being in the room with you during the interviews?
We haven't really got into all the specifics of that. I would say certainly myself and Amy will be in there.
Just getting a late start on the search hurt you guys and finding a candidate?
Yeah, I kind of touched on that earlier. I think that, again, I think this is an attractive job. I think that we'll go through the candidate list, and when we're able to talk to potential candidates that we think can move this organization and this team forward, we'll talk to them.
What's the status of Mike's staff?
They're currently under contract.
Just to
Is
clarify.
LeBeau amongst those, or is he 1 year? He was on a 1 year deal, correct?
It's my understanding he's still under contract, but I'll clarify that.
Will those guys be granted permission to talk to others if someone's interested?
That's on my to-do list this afternoon, is to call all the assistant coaches and talk to those guys individually.
Just to clarify, if any discussion of a contract extension for Mike was contingent on changes to the coaching staff, correct?
No, we did not talk about that.
Are there members of that staff that you would like to keep, that you would like to stay?
I think we've got some good coaches on our staff.
Could Mike said or done anything over the last 2 days to keep them in the position today?
Yeah, I don't like to retrospect and think, would have, could have, should have. I think, we've made the decision to move forward, and we're looking forward to getting the next head coach in here to lead our team.
Sorry, Amy was very fond of Mike and talked about that. What does this say about her commitment to winning football and to you, that she was willing to make this change, given the personal relationship?
I would say that I've worked for now three owners in this league, and I would put Amy Adams-Strunk at the top with the other two that I've worked for. She is extremely easy to talk to. Her and I have a great relationship. She understands football. She understands the game. Nothing is more important to her than this franchise and what it's meant to her family. And she wants to do what she thinks and what we think is best for the team.
John,
How important is this?
To bring a fan to championship, how long would the new coach in place, I mean, if you were to set a time frame on how long it would take to do something like that with a new coach, what would you say?
Yeah, I just talked earlier about not really setting, bars and timetables on things. I'm looking forward to working with whoever the next head coach is and building up on what we've got going here and going forward with it.
How important is this moment to you personally, your first chance to hire a coach in this league?
Well, again, like I said, this was not an easy decision. This was not a gratifying decision for me. But again, as I stated, there's very few things that are more important to me than the Tennessee Titans.
Mike's number one charge, it seemed, when he was hired, was to see that the quarterback was protected. Is that still atop of the list priority for you as you move forward?
Yeah, like I said, I think the quarterback position is if not one of the most important positions on the field. So making sure that he's in a position to maximize his skill set and be protected is definitely of utmost importance.
Knowing one day that you could possibly be in this position of hiring a new head coach, what's the best advice you've been given in your career if you were found yourself in this position?
I think it's just get as much information as you can. It's very similar to prospects in the draft process, or when you're making a trade or you're signing a free agent. Those are paramount decisions that affect the football team. Get as much information as you can about it and do what's best for the team. Try and go with your instinct. Trust what you've learned. Trust your background in football, and move forward with it and do everything you can to make it work.
Is it fair to say you built this roster with Mike's style of offense in mind and worked closely with him while he was head coach? And is it fair to say that? And do you believe in that kind of offense, that kind of football?
Well, I think our players could stylistically, play in a lot of offenses. I think that, receivers, it's get open and catch. Runners, it's make yards when they hand it to you. I think we've got a solid roster on both offense and defense and in the kicking game.
Evaluating the coaching search, how do you, I know there are lots of people that you're familiar with from around the league that you've had ties with in the past and know. How important is that in evaluating them versus somebody that maybe you don't know that would be coming in completely from the outside?
Yeah, great question. I think we're going into it with really no preconceived notions. We have a vision for what we want the next head coach to look like, and we're looking forward to talking to candidates and seeing if they fit that bill.
How important will maximizing Mariota's talent mix? Does that include him in the run game, or would you like to see his development evolve to more strictly the passing game?
Again, that's something that the new head coach and I will talk about how to utilize personnel on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game. I think Marcus has shown that he is a more than capable runner, and he's pretty good at throwing it too. So again, whatever we think is best to help us play at a consistent level, is what we'll do.
You think most of Marcus's struggles this season have been coaching issues?
No. I think there's a lot of factors that go into the success of players. You know, it's there's a myriad of things that, you know, I don't have enough time to go through every single thing that affects them.
Have you already asked for permission to talk to anyone yet?
Like I said, our PR team will talk to and put out once the interviews, candidates who have interviewed are complete.
You expect interviews this week, or?
Maybe potentially.
Did the timing of this have anything to do, possibly, because you said you woke up this morning and it happened after that, with candidates who might be available or might come available, potential pool of candidates that would be available now as opposed to maybe not next year or not the year after?
No, I mean, I wouldn't really read into anything on the timing of things. Again, I think in the end, the discussion was back and forth with Amy about moving forward and taking the team to the next step.
What's the risk of letting go a guy who just produced consecutive winning seasons after you had the number one draft pick and took you 2 rounds deep into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think anytime you make a decision that affects the team, there's always risk involved. There was risk with the trades that we made. There was risk with some of the things that we did. But in the end, you try to just do what's best for the team moving forward.
Does the candidate have to have a experience at the NFL level, or would you consider a college head coach in the mix?
Again, I think, you know, we would exhaust all possibilities. Again, whoever we think is best to move the team forward.
John, you won your first playoff game as an organization in 14 years, but then also acquired the coach. How would you, in terms of the success, what would you say the 2017 season was?
I thought we took a lot of steps in the right direction. I thought some of the second-year players got better, and I think some of the rookies came on. I think we're heading in the right direction, and with more consistency in all 3 phases of the game, I think we can continue that progress.
How important will the new head coach be to align philosophy with what you want from development for your players?
Paramount.
Anything else? What is the status of DeMarco Murray and the team going forward?
He's under contract.
Good. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Thanks.